Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ASOTV podcast for Supernatural, Season 13, Episode 2, Rising Sun. I'm your host Mike, and joining me is Dom, Nikki, and Kim.
I really wanted to add and bacon to this.
And
Or just put a slice of bacon in the middle where it's supposed to say Supernatural.
Just change my wings into bacon.
that'll take a while.
No, they're actually already made out of bacon. You can't tell that, but
They look like
A little crispy.
I still can't get over the fact that this is season 13.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
that
know.
when I was reading it. Like, do I mention that? No, maybe. Yeah.
I
going
mean,
on a while.
so far so good. I mean, I'm liking it.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the longest running show. I can't say that I haven't at any point, but the longest running show that I overall have not lost interest in. That's run for as long. Like, yeah, the Leviathan season was rough, and it made me question why I was still watching. Everything after that was fine. Every single show I've ever watched has 1 week season. To the point where I question why I was watching it.
That's what I was saying. Like having every show has just that one season. You're like,
Even the writer's strike season of Supernatural didn't really suffer that much.
No.
They just cut a couple of story arcs that they were gonna flesh out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we get introduced to our fourth Prince of Hell, Asmodeus.
I love that he was all in white.
Yes, he was all in white, which was great.
He looked very dapper.
Seen
He
multiple-
reminded me of what?
The devil.
No,
in-
I hold on.
He reminded me of Lucifer in Constantine, and of that future version of Earth that Dean gets zapped to when Lucifer took over Sam.
The devil in Sleepy Hollow, or was all in white as well.
There's a number of portrayals of the devil wearing nothing but white. What I wasn't expecting...
Azrael. It was Azrael from Dogma.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
literally in all white
Yeah.
through that movie as well. So it's even the close name.
Yeah. No pleasure as perverse as
like him.
Central Air.
I mean, suit aside, I like Asmodeus.
I was
I
not...
like the way he looks.
Yes, he looks on point. I was not expecting the Alabama accent. Or wherever that is.
It's a southern accent.
Yeah,
He
the
was
southern
in-
twang. But, yeah. I like him so far.
I'd like to know where his sudden motivation to get his hands on Jack came from, because, you would think, beforehand he would know that Jack would come out all-powerful, but no, before he was just like...
Bide his time.
I think what it was Lucifer was still in the picture at that point.
Yes, Lucifer was
I
still in
guess
the
so,
picture.
yeah.
I think he was waiting for his biding his time, waiting for this perfect moment to come in and swoop in. Because obviously he wants to get hold of these weird demon thingies that he was trying to pull out of the earth.
And before Lucifer, Crowley was, so it's like there was a position always of King of Hell, whatever. And until now, it's vacant. So he took this as his opportunity.
Yar.
I'm pretty sure he probably could have squished Crowley like a bug. But
Oh, yeah, but I don't think he cared enough. It was just,
He did.
the throne's occupied, things are being taken care of, I'm going to go do my thing.
Mhm.
And now it's like, oh, well, things are going to go bad if I don't step in, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, let me in.
And now I have something all-powerful that can rip a hole into a certain section of hell and pull out these monsters I wanted to pull out, eons ago.
And the thing is, as we saw in this movie, Jack is easily moldable, manipulated, because he doesn't know anything.
he's still young.
Movie?
and- What?
You said
What?
movie.
Like he said, as we saw in this movie.
Oh, okay. This episode. Sorry, what? I've been
stuff.
There's been so many things happening these last couple days that I'm like,
I
all
was
over the
confused
place.
if there was like a movie within the episode that I didn't.
Yeah,
catch.
they were
That's why I was
watching
questioning it.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
They were, and I'm like, wait, I thought that was supposed to be later in the season. This isn't the Scooby-Doo episode already.
I have a theory about that.
They planted
I
the
think
seeds.
no, I think it is. They did plant the seeds. I think that's gonna be Jack's favorite show, and that is how they're gonna get thrown into that dimension. Jack's gonna be like, Scooby Doo time.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's probably going to be it. I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, it's probably going to be them dimension hopping.
Well, the thing with that is, I know they said the episode was completed at the time of Comic-Con already. They did all the voice work for it so that they get the animation done in time. Jensen mentioned that him, Jared, and Misha
yeah.
did their voice work for it already. There was no mention of Jack's character. Not to say he's not. Not to say he's not, but knowing that, I feel like it's more of Jack throws them in there and doesn't join them.
Yeah, he makes
That'd be funny.
they go in. Like, he's just like, oh, it's my favorite cartoon. You know, they get they beat the monsters every time. Why don't I send my monster hunters to fight the monsters? You know, like
And he's like watching it on TV while they're in the TV.
Yeah. I feel like that's what Jack's gonna do, because as a kid, I would think that's super duper cool.
I have to pull my shirt out. That's Sam and Dean drawn in the style of Shaggy and Freddy, and a black Scooby-Doo is chasing them.
It's a hellhound.
I have that t-shirt
Who's
somewhere.
a hellhound in that t-shirt?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great t-shirt.
Scooby-Doo Hellhound.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah, Jack is...
Oh my god, Kim, it's bright in there.
I know, I was trying to get more light.
Sunlight. We can see the walls.
You have a room behind you.
So yeah, Jack is completely naive. He loves him some Scooby-Doo. And he's taken Dean on as a role model.
I knew this was going to happen in some respect.
He's sitting there in the room, and I think he's looking between Dean and Sam and realizes Dean's the more manly of the two of them, so I'm going to imitate his every move. Including popping open a beer. It's like, wait, how old are you? Like, really, Dean?
We kind
3 days.
called this. Did we not talk about them sharing a beer last week?
Well,
Yeah,
we
but
said Dean would be
they're gonna go
attached.
to
He's not attached.
He's not touched yet.
Not yet, but we're getting there. Like, we did mention, because I remember us having that conversation about Dean being against him drinking, and I was like, because he's literally only a couple days old.
But he just says, fuck it.
They went that route, and I was like, you know what? That's awesome. We called it. I loved it.
He also
I don't
really
know.
likes
I
burgers.
feel like if Dean were attached, it would have been a different story. He would have took more of a, like, no role. But, like, he doesn't give a shit right now. He wants to kill Jack, even though, like, he's like, fine, we'll take him in, we'll do whatever. He really just wants to off him. Like, even though he's sitting right beside him, he doesn't care. He just wants him dead. He thinks he's a monster. So, since he doesn't care, he's like, yeah, drink the beer. I don't care. Just stop, puppy dogging me, and stop trying to be my shadow, because that's really fucking annoying. Please stop.
Yeah.
And it was those kinds of conversations that got Jack to figure out, hey, I can teleport.
Well, they did talk to him about it. They were asking
Try to
him
get him to
questions.
teleport.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
If you
tried.
wanted to appear on the other side of that door, what would you do?
Oh
like,
my God,
he's
that
going to
really
get up and walk
amazing.
through the door. And that's what he did.
And he opens the door like that. And he's got this big old grin on his face, like, oh, aren't you so proud? He's so proud of
He's like, I
himself.
did good. Look, I did good.
See, this is why I miss Castiel like this.
Yeah, but, if they asked Castiel if he could teleport to the other side of the door, he would have. He wouldn't have
Well,
gone
yeah,
and
but I
walked
mean,
to the door.
like, I just picture this as Castiel times infinity.
It's really an infant learning about the world around him, a toddler.
That's kind of what Castiel was when he first appeared.
He was. He just remember he was jerky at first, and then when he got all like that nice, and when he used to be like, he was sitting there watching Netflix, and you know what I mean?
Something about the pizza man? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
The
stuff like
pizza
that.
man taught me this.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, they get a surprise visit from Donatello, the I forgot who was soulless prophet.
I forgot. I
forgot
didn't know who he was at first, and then I'm like, wait, it's Don! And I forgot he was soulless as well, so.
Mm-hmm. I forgot because Amara ate his soul.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh that he chooses Mr. Rogers as his.
What would Mr. Rogers do? And once I figure that out, I'm good.
And then all that popped into my head is the gift that goes around of Mr. Rogers flipping the kids off.
Oh, God.
That exists?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
a song that they were like, I forget where it's like something where each finger is a person and they're like whatever.
Oh.
They go finger by finger and then he gets to the middle one and you can see he's even like smiling and laughing when he's doing it because he knows, because he's an adult and he knows what this means. So
I thought it was more like he's like pointing at the camera and he's like my uncle who points with his middle finger and not his pointer finger. Okay.
No, he's dancing around like this with his middle finger. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's all I could think of when Donatello was like, yeah, what would Mr. Rogers do? I was like, yep, flip off a bunch of kids.
Probably, yeah. But he shows up like, is
That's
God
like the
with
one
you?
time he's done anything like bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wants to know if God's with them because of what he felt when Jack was born. He just sought out the power. Some kid.
That must be something like a soul is kind of like a buffer for it, like especially for prophets. Like Donatello sought him out like a freaking bloodhound, just sniffed his way all the way to Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So like, is taking his soul away a good thing in this? Because they're going to be able to find Jack wherever he is if they keep Donatello at their side.
Yes.
I don't know if that's necessarily because he's soulless.
I think it's because he's a prophet.
Yeah.
He said he felt a wave of power that knocked him on his ass.
I feel like it's way more he's more focused in order to find the power rather than if he had a soul and there's other distractions.
Well, he doesn't have
like,
a conscience.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. So like he can focus on that power and like sniff it out, whereas before, maybe that lollipop would gain his his attention. Little distractions like that would throw me off a scent.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything Donatello says at that point is pretty much because Sam and Dean have been arguing over Jack for a while now, and it's like every sentence proves Sam's point, then proves Dean's point, then proves Sam's point, then proves Dean's point. It's like his power is not dark and toxic; it's light. Sam all smug, and then it's like, maybe he's he's less human than we thought, and Dean's like, and that happened like 5 times because Sam and Dean are fucking Sam and Dean.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not fucking. Just never mind.
Really?
I think, I don't know. They have to meet in the middle. They have to treat him as a human being, but also treat him as an archangel, not as a monster. They need to treat him as what he is, and they have to give him time to grow and teach him things instead of giving him a beer. Let him watch some Scooby-Doo for fuck's sake, Dean. Like, you asshole.
Yeah, that was pretty assy.
You don't turn that shit off on a kid. Even though it's like it's a nonsensical cartoon, it doesn't really make sense. The monsters aren't monsters. It still teaches kids morals in like a really backhanded sense. It's just like watching Disney movies too. There's always a meaning, but like the kids don't really care. It's cartoons and they're singing. But
it's like there's worse things that he could be watching.
Yeah. Yeah. So like also treat him like a child who needs to learn. Like give him a book. He's literate. He knows how to read. Give him a book to read. Make it,
the Bible.
He did. He gave him the Bible.
Maybe
but you
not,
saw like
it
Dean
did affect him though.
Dean like had this confliction when he went to shut Scooby-Doo off. Like he went up to it and he's like,
he watched
and he watched for a second,
smiled,
and then he shut it off. It's the same thought process that went through my father's head when I was younger, where my father was like, "You're never getting a tattoo, not under my roof," all that. And I turned to my father. I go, "What if I get a tattoo of the Italian flag?" And then he just went into like deep contemplation, like tattoos are off limits, but wait, Italian flag maybe. And he's like, "No." So it's almost the same reaction that Dean had with Scooby-Doo.
Speaking of tattoos,
that's what my uncle pulled because you're not allowed to get a tattoo in my house is what his mother said, and he got a tattoo of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So,
My mom was sitting there when I got my first tattoo.
all right.
And of course she wanted it to be a flower, and it wasn't a flower. I was like, no,
mom
that's not.
cared.
My mom wanted to go get our eyebrows pierced together. But that never happened because I'm a chicken and I didn't want a piercing in like above my eye just in case of infections and all that jazz. But she took my sister out when she was 13 and got their noses pierced together.
Yeah, my mom wanted my nose pierced, and I said, I don't want to feel like there's a booger in my nose.
Yeah. Here. No, infections, no thanks. You know, ears, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah, no, my parents never had any problems. It was literally just tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Even my mom was not against them. It's just my dad.
But as Nikki said, speaking of tattoos, they don't work.
Well, they work. They are perfectly fine tattoos. It's just that Jack couldn't stop his archangel part of his body from healing them.
My issue with that is the tattoo should not have completed for his body to heal. It should have been healing as the tattoo was being drawn.
Yeah.
It's
To
not as
never
long
be
as it
completed.
takes.
I mean, the first little poke, he did kind of throw the tattoo artist for a frickin' ride across the room.
Yeah.
They're like, your pen kind of shocked. You should probably get that checked out.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like you're drawing a line, and if that was to heal, you wouldn't finish the whole tattoo, and then it heals. It would be healing as you're drawing it.
I feel like part of that was Jack. He kind of wanted to see what was going on, so like
Repressed his healing.
yeah, like he wanted to see what was happening, but like after the fact, it was just like, oh, look at that, it's done, and then his body healed. Like it was just like he's got control, but at the same time he doesn't.
Right. Well, that didn't work. And,
I feel like if they explained to him more in detail what these things do for him, he might have been able to been like, all right, let's do that again, and then they would have stayed.
well,
Kind of like,
yeah.
hmm.
It would have worked, and they would have prevented the demons from finding them. But we get a little bit from Donatello that... Well, it's not really Donatello, we find out later. But that the Nephilim always winds up stronger than the angel that sired it.
That's awesome.
Which is something I think we could have guessed.
Yeah.
So...
Jack is literally more powerful than Lucifer.
Because Jack...
As he grows.
Yeah,
Right now he's not.
He ripped a hole to an alternate reality. Something that I don't know if Lucifer has the juice to do. Otherwise, he probably would have done it.
Yeah, he would have escaped.
I thought it was just a sect of hell that held a certain type of creature in it. I didn't think it was a whole dimension.
No,
Oh
this
no,
is
it's
last
a
season.
whole new
We're talking
dimension.
about the end of last season, where Lucifer and Mary are
last
right now.
season. Okay, oh, right. Yeah. Well, he was just a baby. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It was like
But he
his
has
residual juices.
He has the power to do that,
He does have the power to
and
do
Lucifer
that.
clearly doesn't.
No.
Residual juices? That sounds terrible.
Yes.
I don't want any... No.
Everything in this world is
Subconscious
disgusting.
baby power.
Getting image out of my head. Moving on.
Sparkly residual juices.
So yeah, we find out when Donatello...
Not making it better?
other image out of head. Where we find out when Donatello shows up with breakfast burritos, spicy by the way, that Asmodeus has taken on Donatello's form.
What
And-
cool power.
Has taken Jack to the
Yeah.
middle of Jasper,
Well-
Wyoming.
It was before this that we saw that he could do this as, with the bartender.
Yes, the bartender. And
So that was kind of like our first hint as could shapeshift.
No. Yeah. Is it the first time we've heard? I mean, usually in order for demons to change their shape, they have to hop into another body and possess it. That goes for, like, even the other knights didn't do that. They had to hop bodies. Asmodeus must be like the strongest of the four.
either that or he just knows
I
I'm
thought-
actually,
magic.
I'm wondering if maybe the alphas could have spawned from different hells.
So you're saying like maybe he's part shifter?
Yeah,
Like-
like the alpha shifter spawned from him, kind of. You know what I mean?
The alpha
Like maybe
shifters-
each of them has a power that the alphas have. You know.
There's this. They're each like offset demon sect came from them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So like
I
maybe
mean-
he has shifter abilities. Another one, has the werewolf gene. Something like that. Maybe that's where like some of these creatures originated from.
Yeah, see, now I have to go back and watch with What's-Her-Face and see if she had any special abilities that we didn't catch on at first either.
Oh well, she could shimmer.
Nothing-
I mean, she did so much stuff.
Nothing that was super obvious anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really
She
crazy.
kept everything pretty much low key, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want to be caught by the angels because she had Kelly the whole time.
True. So anyway, he takes Jack to the middle of nowhere and tells him to concentrate his power downward. And
It was another Hellgate.
yeah, it was another Hellgate. And Sam and Dean say, oh yeah, it's in Dad's journal. It's the home of a Hellgate where unimaginable evil emanates from creatures too wicked for the pit to hold. That's nice. And, Jack opens the hole and we see these arms crawling out of it like, oh, that's just lovely. So this is the next...
As Modelo here, he kind of said he was gonna to Jack that he was gonna save people's lives.
Yes, he was saying, this
He
is
lied
an order
to
from
him.
God. Yeah, he
Yeah.
lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
You
Use
like
that...
what I did there?
Yeah. Like, it's written down right in front of you.
As Modelo?
As Metello, I put.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't see that. I'm not reading your
High
fucking
five. Anyway. Yeah, they show up and basically, that's not Donatello. There's like, that's not me. That's not me. Shoot the evil one. Which one's the evil one?
The one that didn't bring the spicy burritos. Duh.
He should have brought the burritos.
Yeah.
That'd really throw Dean for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't know.
Well,
I
anyway,
trust you without the burritos.
Jack is somewhat good because he sees Sam, Dean, and Donatello getting choked out, and he's like, "You're hurting my friends. Stop it!" And yeah, Asmodeus
Jack?
poofs out of there like, "Nope, I'm not gonna be on the other end of that one."
He
Jack
looked
is so precious.
surprised.
Mhm.
Like surprised
Yeah.
that he turned on him.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I'm not gonna be on the receiving end of that. Goodbye.
It's the whole nature versus nurture argument,
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, the demons and, like, Asmodeus and stuff, they don't know that Kelly was talking to him from the moment of conception.
Mhm.
Like, that Kelly was, whispering him good thoughts and, like, talking to him about Castiel being a true father and, she was nurturing him even before he was born. So, he already has a good nature about him. He just needs to learn about it. It needs to be
People and things are
fortified.
not born evil, they become evil over time because of the experiences that they
Mm-hmm.
incur.
And, like, even though he kind of had a bad, like, first impression of Sam and Dean, he's connected to them now because they are, even though Dean is kind of a jackass about it right now, they are nurturing him. They are helping him.
I thought you were going to say Jackosaurus.
Well, I like the fact that Dean compared him to a wild animal. I was all like,
He's not.
compared
I
him
mean,
to a
he's
lion.
He's wild in a
I
sense
get,
where he
I
can't
get
control
where
himself.
Dean's saying is because that's the whole part of the nature versus nurture argument. Is it's like, can you make a lion a vegetarian if you raised it that way?
No, but
That's in its
That's a little
nature.
bit different.
eating
So,
habits
I mean,
are different.
Right?
but-
No, I know, but I'm saying like that's part of the nature versus nurture. Some things are nature. Some things you cannot change. Some things are nurture, and I believe your feelings and stuff like that, it all comes down to nurture. It's the way you were raised.
Oh, yeah.
In this case,
instinctual habits. That's a bit of a different story.
yeah, Lucifer is a gigantic dick, but he was also an archangel. So
You gotta remember that there was a time where Lucifer was not an evil asshole.
Yeah.
correct. So, speaking of Lucifer, we find out the reason he's keeping Mary alive, and bargaining chip. I'm gonna trade you for my kid. Once we get out of here,
Mm-hmm.
Little does he know his kid's not going to want to go to him.
that's gonna piss him off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, sudden fireball appears and separates the two of them. Which, okay, apparently fireballs rain from the sky in this dimension.
Apparently, no angels randomly
No.
throw fireballs. Is what
Yeah.
Yeah.
The angels are the ones throwing the fire. they're real dicks. Like even
I mean,
more
it's
so
not
than
like-
we knew.
I was gonna say, it's not like they were friendly,
No,
in our universe.
but they weren't tossing fireballs down at the earth.
Well, they're at war.
Yeah, so they can
And
get away with it.
And we've noticed from the beginning, since we first saw Cass, they have this all holier than thou,
They also don't
Fascinating.
have. They also don't have their wings clipped, and they have access to the power of heaven.
Yeah, it's basically the angels here are portrayed as like God was in biblical times. It's like, oh, flood, you people are terrible. I'm gonna flood the earth. So
Why this world looks like what?
zone.
I mean, if say, okay, you're thinking, oh, this world, you see it for the first time, and they say it's all started when, before the apocalypse, before, the fight of Michael and Lucifer. You would think that this world would exist because Lucifer won. That's the exact opposite. Michael won.
Yeah, this world exists because the apocalypse happened.
Mm-hmm.
They battled it out and destroyed the world in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it all happened because Sam and Dean weren't there to stop them.
right, it's basically where a lot of people have questioned on this show. Sam and Dean have done a lot of really terrible things and have caused a lot of really terrible things. Would the world be better without Sam and Dean?
Nope.
No,
Here's
it would
the
not.
answer.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're set upon by a small squad of angels after Lucifer saves Mary from an overly rapey hunter. And
It's like he hadn't seen a woman in like a while.
well, he said there
I was
haven't
gonna
been many
say, Sam
women.
and Dean's motto should be a motto from another show we cover: is sometimes we screw things up for the better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That should be their new motto.
Mm-hmm. And as Lucifer says, even in this realm, they have no chance. What the hell were they thinking? And then another fireball rains from the sky, and hello, Big Brother Michael.
Yeah. I like this Michael. I mean, I like how he looks. I don't like Michael the character.
Well, they get into it, and
Still a raging dick.
apparently in their fight, Lucifer asks him, "Are you just gonna kill me?" He goes, "No, I need you for something." What can you need him for? You killed your version of your brother. Why do you need the alternate version?
Because he probably regrets it.
He regrets it, or he realized, shit, I needed him alive for something really important.
Yeah, the balance of fucking nature.
There's
Probably.
gonna be good. There's gonna be evil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's yeah. Why? How are you here? It's her fault. Mary's just like, yeah, it's my fault.
Whatever. I'll take the blame.
It really was her fault.
I mean, the portal she went through with him wasn't their fault.
No.
She just pushed him in and fell in with him.
But the fact that they're stuck there is her fault.
Yeah.
Well,
Whatevs.
Well, it's
The
technically
portal-
her fault because she had Sam and Dean,
Mhm.
right?
We're
So
going that far back. So technically, the reason the portal opened was because of Jack, which is Lucifer's
Right, but
baby.
she was
so that's
dead.
Lucifer's fault.
but she was dead because Azazel killed her, and Sam and Dean are what brought her back to life.
So this
No,
Sam
Chuck.
Dean's fault.
Chuck did it.
Chuck
Well,
slash
Amara
God
did it
brought her
for
back.
Sam and Dean.
No,
Yeah.
Mara did it for them.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Mara.
did it for
Mara.
Sam and Dean. So it's Sam and Dean's fault.
Anyway, before we talk a little more about this,
9 degrees of Sam and Dean's fault.
Sam and Dean's fault.
yeah. Next episode is called Patience. And this is
I don't
what
have
we
any
got.
of that.
No.
I barely anymore.
When her friend is murdered by a wraith, haven't had a wraith in a while, with a taste for psychics, Missouri, is that a character we know? Am I missing it?
I believe I remember a character named Missouri.
You have a name, so I'm guessing that there's the reason why we need to remember the name.
Missouri
I mean-
enlists the help of Dean and Jody, yay, to protect
Jody.
her granddaughter Patience, who has no idea she shares her grandmother's trait and could be next on the Wraith's hit list. Meanwhile, Sam continues to work with Jack on learning how to control his powers.
Missouri was
Yeah.
last seen in season 1.
Oh my god, it was the psychic they went to find John.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one in their hometown?
Uh-huh.
Wow!
Go.
Holy maybe we will be revisiting the the Antichrist this season if they're gonna be starting to pull shit from season 1.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
And apparently she's going to be a major character in the upcoming spin-off.
Yay! Maybe that's why they got
That's why
Jodie in this
Jodie-
one too. Yeah, I'm so excited for that, you guys. I can't even. I want to see this so bad.
Bitchin'. I love it.
Excuse me.
But
You're addressing ladies. It's not bitchin'. It's just awesome. They're very strong, independent women. You can't be going and calling them names like that.
I don't think that was at.
Nope.
First.
she
I
knows
know-
it wasn't. She's just being a turd.
Missouri is mentioned in the very first sentence of John Winchester's journal. Which they still have, by the way.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they bring it out all the damn time.
They used it this
Brought it out
episode.
this episode.
To
Mhm.
talk about Jasper, Wyoming, and how there's another gate to hell. Notice how there's a lot of gates to hell in the Midwest. The one we knew about was in Colorado. This one's in Wyoming.
I bet there's one under New York City.
There's
in
probably
the old subways.
I want to say there's probably one at the rate they're going. There's going to be one in Utah and one in Idaho and all those states out there because apparently they're hell or close enough.
It's out in the middle of nowhere.
I want them to close a gate that's not in America. Because we know there are monsters and devils and demons in other parts of the world. Why aren't there hell gates there that we've heard of?
The Earth is 70% water, so
So
there's
they
probably
only
some hell
deal with
gates in the ocean.
Yeah, that's where the Kraken lives.
Sea monsters.
Ugh.
Anyway, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, not, just that Jack is
Just-
precious, and I hope they do a lot of good with him.
I just
I'd like to
love
see him stay around.
this time around all the seeds and the incorporation they're actually spending to set up the crossover show. Like
Mhm.
last time around when they did this, it didn't go good.
I just watched that, and it just came out of nowhere. It was like a Monster of the Week episode. That's why it didn't feel like a backdoor pilot.
And this one, they're already establishing it's in the established supernatural universe. It's with characters we already know,
And that's why it's going to work.
lore and history and everything that we already know, and they're taking the time to develop and set it up before it even airs this
They're
time.
learning from their mistakes.
Yep.
Oh, look,
Well,
we
they've
backdoor
learned from their
piloted.
successes too.
Yeah, they backdoor piloted originals off of Vampire Diaries. Then they're like, let's do that with Supernatural. Gigantic failure. Why was it a gigantic failure?
Because it was with new characters that we never met.
All right, originals worked because it was with characters we've known for 2 seasons plus.
Yeah, they were established already,
were
and that's the same thing with Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Right,
All
exactly.
of those characters were
Well,
established.
technically, like, I know they're different shows, whatever, but they're all on the CW.
Yeah.
And the Arrow has been going on forever. And then they did an episode with Barry Allen in Arrow. And they showed Barry going into a coma. And then it set up for The Flash, which that character's in The Flash. Then they took the characters from that, and they spun some of those characters off onto another show. So technically, all of these are spin-offs of Arrow, and they're all with pre-established characters, and they all worked fantastic. Granted, they're already they have a little bit of an advantage because they're going off of people's comic book knowledge too, so it's already got that little extra oomph to it. But still, they still set them up early in their universe. Supernatural's first attempt at this was not good.
The only thing that I knew that they carried over was an actor from the CW family, and that was Nathaniel Buzalik, or that's his name, right? From the TVD universe. He played
Call.
Cole Michelson. He was one of the original vampires. So that was the only thing that they carried over. They just carried over the actor, not the character. So like, there was a little bit of connect, but like I said, it just felt like one of Supernatural's Monster of the Week episode. That's it.
And not a very good one.
No, it wasn't that great either. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, hopefully this one does better.
Oh,
I do love me some Jody Mills.
It's going to.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be it's just comedy gold. That's what this is gonna be. It's gonna be amazing. Like, we already know how silly Supernatural can get. Can you just imagine with Donna in there? Oh my lord, this is gonna be awesome.
And on that note, I think that's our show. Tom, where can they find you?
You find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Nikki, where can they find you?
Also on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
And Kim.
On Twitter, at HUFFITY,
You can find me on Twitter at Philidrin. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast, and coming soon, Twitch, also. ASOTV Podcast. You could follow us at those places for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Thank you all for watching. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Forever.
No.
No. And bacon.